It's game on regarding Google. After hours stunner yesterday, Google announcing the separation of its core search and non-internet search-related businesses. What they're doing is they're putting them to two different units, all to be housed under a new umbrella company called Alphabet. The ticker remains the same, but the price does not. Look at the price jumping here for Google stock, up 4.25% as everybody tries to figure out what it really means. Well, that's why we're here to tell you. FoxBusiness.com's star tech reporter Katie Roof has been working the story all day, getting the ABCs of Google's new plan and reaction from the street. Katie, what are you hearing?
I just got off the phone with analyst James Cockmock at Monness, Crespi & Hart. He upgraded it to a buy because he believes this will bring more transparency. Finally, we're going to see how all Google's businesses are doing, or Alphabet's businesses are doing now. And also, he thinks it will bring more accountability for the businesses because they won't have all this corporate red tape. And I talked to Frank Aquila, who's the M&A lawyer at Sullivan & Cromwell. He thinks this could lead to more M&A because we'll have a clearer idea of what each of their businesses are doing, and this could even lead to more spin-offs, according to a different M&A lawyer.
That's an interesting angle for calling the Sullivan & Cromwell lawyers, because you get a sense of what it then triggers, right? But we should let people know, Google's businesses, there's Nest, YouTube, the core search business under Google. There's the Android hardware services as well. So they have a whole bunch of businesses. But what's really at the heart of putting these all under an umbrella and then breaking out at least the Google search numbers?
Right, and so we'll finally get a better picture of how each of them are doing. Some of those businesses will be a part of Google, YouTube, Maps. All of their internet businesses, Android, will still be a part of the Google division. Then we have Nest, which is their smart thermostat business.
I have one of those. We have that.
and there's also Google Ventures, which invests in Uber and some of the other hot startups in Silicon Valley like Jet. And there's Google X, which is their self-driving cars and some of their other moonshots, as they call it. They're experimental businesses. And so we'll get a better picture of how each of those businesses are doing.
So we have star analyst Colin Gillis. He's right now with us at BGC. I am dying to hear what you think of this because you've written out your report. What's your gut reaction to the alphabet city of Google?
Yeah, right. Don't call us just an advertising company anymore. And I think that's the message that comes across. And when I talk about Google, right, the big question we get a lot of times is what company could potentially hit the $1 trillion market cap, right? And, there's a lot of discussion.
$1 trillion?
$1 trillion, I know, right? I'm not saying it's happening anytime soon.
Apple is getting up there, right?
People always, say Apple, and I say, you pay attention to what Google is doing, and this move, right, the Alphabet umbrella will help drive home the fact that they're involved in a lot of things beyond their core business of search. Now, near term, right, we all like it because we get more transparency. Everyone says Google spends too much money, but now we'll get a chance to see how much that overhead layer is, right? And that's come from the new CFO, Ruth Porat. She's promised better transparency, and we get it.
Are you telling me that Google, I can't get over this original thing that you just threw out, that Google will hit $1 trillion market cap before Apple does because of this move, or in part because of this move?
Absolutely. I think the move highlights all the various businesses that Google has, right? Whether it's in life sciences, longevity, whether it's their Google Fiber, wiring up people with 1 gig speeds, whether it's Nest, their Internet of Things. You can look at Google's roadmap and you can see a lot of potential future revenue streams. You look at Apple and, we've got the dependency on the iPhone, sales of the physical hardware, and sure, we're going to get a new iPhone in September, but the innovation that's happening there is less compelling in my eyes than what's happening at Google.
Okay, but the innovation is what has made Google and the Google guys, Sergey and Larry, the founders, really quite special as leaders. Does this now sort of slow them down on those moonshots, Katie? I mean, because I just wonder, now that they have to break out certain parts of it, they'll know what isn't performing, won't they?
I don't think it will slow it down. I think it will actually speed it up. I think this is part of the reason they did it. They really want to make it so that they can do these moonshots. They have it as a separate part of their business, so you can see how those moonshots are doing and if they are providing great returns for their business.
Do you love this stock now?
We do. We think there's still a lot of upside. I mean, it's been up 29% year to date. We've seen some nice multiple expansion, as well as we're seeing some upward revision in EPS because the expectations are that the new CFO is controlling and reining in costs. And then in terms of the speed at which they're innovating, right, to have these business units each have their own CEO, and to have a little bit more transparency, it should help push that process faster.
Well, the stock is up 4.25%, as you can see on the lower right-hand part of your screen, everybody, up $28 to $691 a share. We'll see if it hits $700 soon. Great to have you both.